I grew up around farms, bought this land in 1983, so I've been here a little over 30 years. I've always raised beef cattle. I feel like I'm seeing some fairly dramatic changes. I'm not a scientist, so I just tend to notice things that interfere with whatever it is I'm trying to do. I have 2 ponds, and the algae growth traditionally would start in March, maybe February, but in recent years I've seen it start as early as December. And I suspect that's related to water temperature being higher than it's been in the past. I'm seeing more erosion in places in the pasture, and I have started to see in the last 5 years gullies in pastures that I didn't have for the first 25 years. The Elaeagnus has thorns an inch and a half long that'll puncture a rear tractor tire, and now threatened to envelop the farm, and at times makes me want to quit farming. The fire ant population, which has gradually moved northward, seems to be associated with warming soils. I think the most dramatic thing is actually the tick population. I never thought about ticks when we started working here at this farm. Now I can step out into my yard and get 100 seed ticks. Clearly the ticks are more active in warmer weather. Of all the changes, that's the one that's affected me the most. Each of these things individually, I'm sure, have multiple possible explanations. But when you put them all together, it did occur to me that climate change could possibly explain all of it. I have no reason to not think that we're undergoing climate change. Human beings are going to have to come to grips. The Earth is going to survive. It's going to do just fine. It's human beings that are threatened by climate change. We need to take action. It's really hard, I think, for individuals to think they can have an effect. So for a lot of people, it's just easier to stick their head in the sand. And I've been surprised that the agricultural community has been slow to react, but I think that's starting to change. Until people realize the scope of the threat, I don't think we're going to make much progress. But I'm optimistic that ultimately people are going to realize that and take action. But we're going to see a lot of change, I think, before we get to that place, unfortunately.